Representing Latina women in Minnesota is honored, but it's a complex identity. As Latinos, we usually get put in a box. We are told, this is who you are, this is who you belong to. But as you move into a new community, you also become part of that community. So for me to be a Latina in Minnesota means that I still keep my Latina identity, but I'm also part of this community, part of learning what does it mean to be myself as a Latina, representing mi gente, my people in Minnesota, but also be able to contribute to the community and be part of the community.
Yo, un Latino en Minnesota is presented by You Care and by the Minnesota Twins, proudly celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
My name is Patricia Conde-Brooks. I'm originally from Bogota, Colombia, an immigrant. I immigrated to the United States when I was starting high school. I am the first in my family to go to college. I am the first woman in my family actually to graduate from college. I moved to Minnesota about 18 years ago, and I have been a part of the Minnesota communities ever since then. You see, historically, the immigration story of Latinos coming to the southern part of the United States is told. What we don't tell is the immigration of the Latinos that come to the northern states, to Minnesota. So I always think of the Latinos that are in Minnesota as being more resilient than others. Yo, Latino in Minnesota, to me means that we're here and for many. And so we're many times we're the first that many people, the first Latino that many people have met, had relationships with. Surely many times we're the first Latinos that have been supervisors, bosses, leaders in industries. And so we're contributing to educating and enriching the community. And we're giving a little bit of sazon, a little bit of flavor to the Minnesota community. Education plays a huge role in the development of the Latino community. We need to be educados y preparados. That means we have to be educated and prepared. And to me, that means opening doors for education. We are gaining in education as Latinos. We're seeing our Latinos complete high school. Now we got to move on to higher education. Only 21% of the Latino population has a four-year degree, and we need to increase those numbers. Education opens doors, education opportunities. And I don't necessarily mean that you have to go get a degree, a bachelor's degree. You can do so at a community college. Technical skills are obviously need. But when you have that education, it opens doors for you. It also offers us opportunities to learn more about the community that we're in and to be able to ask for the seat at the table in a different manner because now we have those degrees in education that counts for us. So I've been an educator my whole life. I've been in higher education for over 30 years, and I've had the privilege and the honor to work with Latino students through my whole time in education. And I feel like I learn as much from the students as they teach me. But one of the things I know for sure is that if no estamos preparados, if we're not ready, we not only give the education, but give opportunities to do internships, to do apprenticeships, to be able to open doors that our community will fall behind. So education is the passion, and education is what I mean to do in my way of serving my community. I would say that the biggest gift our community has now is our Z generation Latinos. These are the new generation. About 80% of the students that we're seeing coming into education are U.S. citizens that were born here in the United States. Now, most of them are children of immigrants, but they're going to be driving the workforce in our country. One of the things that I find very unique about the Z generation Latinos is that they don't have to choose. In the past, you were ni de aquí, ni de allá. I wasn't from here or from there. The Z generation Latinos son de aquí y de allá. They're hypercultural. That means that they're able to navigate both cultures seamlessly. We're seeing a resurgence of Spanish speaking. For our community has had, sadly, a history what we call language abstraction. So the language being taken away from us because of laws, because assimilation, because of survival, really, of being Latinos. But this generation doesn't have to do that. First of all, they have social media that gives them access to be able to keep the language. They're being able to start connecting with abuelitos y abuelitas in the future. But that is the Z generation. El futuro es Latino, I always say, and it is the future because of our young Latinos. We're seeing our Latinas getting education at higher levels than our Latino men, and that's an area of opportunity that we have for us. But we are seeing how they are not only being the first, but they're opening doors and they're persevering to education. So they're getting their education at levels that I see will make us compatible in the workforce. So I love to share about Latina women. That's actually my area of expertise. My whole research is on Latina leadership. We have a history. We have a history of the Latina women being the ones behind the scenes. We have the ones being supportive, but now we're going to the forefront. Latinas are educating and going to college and getting degrees at higher levels than others. They're stepping into public office. The explosion of Latinas here in Minnesota alone, we have, when we look at some of our representatives in Minnesota, mayors and cities, city council, school boards, Latinos are stepping up, finding their voice and speaking up. Perhaps some of us growing up didn't do that because of some of our cultural values and scripts, but calladita no es más bonita. That means if you're quiet, you're not going to be prettier. But that means that we have a voice and we're activating that voice for change. And most of all, when we do that with familismo, bringing the family together and our community together. So as Latinas, we're very conscious that when we go to the table and we represent, we're bringing others with us to the table, and that distinctiveness gives us a unique flavor of leadership, one that I'm very proud of. What I would like Minnesotans to know about the Latino community in the state is that we're not monolithic. We are very diverse. We're very diverse. We can come from 27 different countries. Some of us will speak Spanish. Some of us will not speak Spanish, and that's okay. That's not what makes us Latinos. We have different ethnicities. We have indigenous Latinos, Afro-Latinos, white Latinos. But one thing that I would want them to know is that as people, as the Latinos, la Latinidad, is our values, our core values. Latinos are very family-oriented. We are always thinking collectively. Anybody that thinks collectively is always going to look for what is best for the community. We think about respeto. We're very respectful people. We acknowledge very much about being simpáticos, being friendly to people. We are, most of all, bienvenidos, welcome. We're welcoming people. We welcome others from other communities. We'd love for you to learn about our different foods, a variety of foods, where all the kinds of food, all kinds of the music. But I want to move on beyond fun, flags, and food, and just really get to know us as people. We are warm. Wherever we go, we have a resiliency. Think about the resiliency that it takes to leave your home country and start somewhere when there's no one like you. And I know this country is made up of immigrants, but we're the new immigrants, we're the new people to come to Minnesota. And given an opportunity, we will not only be grateful, but we're also contributing. We will contribute to the prosperity and to the future of the state of Minnesota. So that's what I would like you to know. Los Latinos somos juntos aquí en Minnesota. We're here together in Minnesota. Mi nombre es Patricia Conde-Brooks. Yo soy una latina en Minnesota.
Visit and share video profiles with the perspective of successful Latinos, offering a better understanding of the contributions made by the Latino community in Minnesota. Yo, un Latino en Minnesota is presented by You Care and by the Minnesota Twins, proudly celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.